Let's go. Like check 1 2. Hey, players. Hey, listen. This is episode number 20 of the Sports Plus Live podcast. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Edgar, Mr. A.K. Rodriguez. This is number 20. So, of course, it's the Barry Sanders edition of the Sports Plus Live podcast. I'm pretty sure he wore 20. We're going to go with that. I'm sure there's a whole lot more other players who wore 20 that were probably... We could probably go off the cuff. You guys know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, anyways, Sports Plus Live, episode number 20. 20, it's kind of weird to say. Like, I didn't think I would even get, as lazy as I am, I didn't think I'd get to even 10. I figured I'd get to 10 and be like, yeah, you know what? I don't think so. Not for me anymore, but I like doing this. Hopefully you guys do. Let me fix my shit here. There we go. But anyways, welcome. Today, at the time of me recording, this is late Friday afternoon. Wanted to do it yesterday, but I wanted to wait for many reasons. So I'm lazy mostly. Just kidding. I got caught up. What was I doing yesterday? Cooking. I cooked some shitty ribs yesterday, and it was not good. And I was not prepared. For that, just like it's something that just went off the. It was bad. I need to be prepared next time, but that's how you learn. You just dive into it, just like I'm gonna dive into this podcast because there's a few topics I want to talk on. I don't know how long this podcast is gonna be. I don't know. It could be like half hour. Because I don't like to talk. I don't like to hear myself talk. I hate the way I sound. I think a lot of people do that. But it's whatever. Just like the Nate Diaz said, whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever, man. Stockton. Few things we're going to go over today. Today was the announcement, the official announcement, a retirement announcement of Eli Manning. We're definitely going to talk about that because right now, as I tweeted or I put out on Instagram, I believe, on MRAKACO with Sports Plus Life on Instagram, and same thing on Twitter. God, I say a lot of ums. I'm trying to correct that. See, I'm trying to say right there. Eli Manning retired, and there's not going to be any more Mannings for a while in the NFL. This is the first time in like 22 years that there's not been a Manning in the NFL. Peyton Manning started in 1997, 98. So 22 years. It's just 22 years since there hasn't been a Manning in the NFL. Peyton Manning 98. Eli Manning started in 2003, 2002-ish, I believe. Had a long career and somewhat successful career. Also, I'm going to get into that in a second, but also just give you a heads up. We're also going to talk about UFC Fight Night tomorrow. Curtis Blades versus Junior Dos Santos. Also going to talk about Chicharito going to LA Galaxy, which is a pretty big move for LA Galaxy, for MLS, and of course Chicharito. And then also, I was watching the Pro Bowl. That's what I was also doing yesterday, Pro Bowl skills game. It was pretty fun. I watched it. I enjoyed it. Talk about that. Zion made his debut this week as well. I fell asleep at halftime because it was kind of boring. He was only playing like 6 minutes the whole first half. Anyways, we'll talk about that. And if that isn't enough for me, then I will talk about something else. I'll talk about more stuff. I will come out of thin air to talk about more stuff. I don't care. Like Darren Till, I don't care. Let me get myself situated. Let me get it together now. So, Eli Manning retired. And and it's pretty. I mean, I don't know if it's big. It's not like splashing news like when Peyton Manning retired. When Peyton Manning retired, I cried. I am not gonna lie to you. I had man tears coming down my baggy eyes, and I was like, dude, I just can't. Like, he was sad, man. He was really sad. He had to leave football. I watched Eli's press conference today. Not an ounce of emotion. Dude, the guy's like, I don't know. Like, he's just he rarely shows any emotion, except for that one commercial he did. I think was it last year with OBJ when he picked him up, and I thought that was pretty cool. But he doesn't show very much emotion, which is, I guess, is all right. And it was really weird. I sat there and watched Eli Manning give a short speech. Was like, I think this. I was at work, so I kind of wasn't paying attention. But I know it was short, and I was like, huh. Dude, I just started laughing. I was like, dude, this guy, like, he's glad he's out. 16-year career for Eli Manning in with one team. You don't see that anymore. You won't see. I don't know when you'll see that next. 16 years with the same team. After 2012, he probably could have left to better teams and probably been paid a whole lot more as well. But he chose to be loyal to New York. I mean, shit, he had no choice. For those of you who don't know, Eli Manning got traded to New York after being drafted number 1 by the San Diego Chargers at the time. Now they're LA Chargers, for those of you who don't know. LA. And yeah, he was like, I'm not going to San Diego. You kiss my ass, I ain't going. And so New York worked it out to where they traded, after the fact, they traded, I don't know what the exact details of the trade was. But pretty much, New York drafted Phillip Rivers from NC State, I believe. And they traded Phillip Rivers to San Diego for Eli Manning. And the rest is history. Pretty good, hindsight, pretty good trade. It's a very, very good trade. San Diego hasn't won shit at all. And at the time, San Diego had Drew Brees. So Drew Brees was playing for the Chargers. So I think I saw what Eli Manning was trying to do. He didn't want to be like second fiddle to Drew Brees. I mean, Jesus. I mean, for obvious reasons. Drew Brees' first battle. I've talked about it before in the podcast, Sports Plus Live podcast. We reach all corners. It's like every episode has some sort of 6 degrees of separation, 600 degrees of separation. I don't know what it's called. Something about separation. They all tie in together. So you guys got to tune in, like, subscribe, share, tell your family, tell your auntie, tell your mommy, your grandmama, your granddaddy, tu abuelo, tu abuela, tu hijada, tus hijos, everyone. Just tell everyone, like, subscribe. And if you do, even if you just tell tus abuelas, tus tias, oh, we'll have like 100,000 subscribers easy. To YouTube, Sports Plus Life, all the podcasts. Because if you guys know, I'm speaking Mexican now, speaking Spanish, I believe. But to Mexicans in general, tias are chismosas. Get it out to your tias. But yeah, little off topic. But Drew Brees, easily top 5 quarterback ever. Just breaking records left and right recently. Super Bowl. Overall top guy. And like Eli Manning, his team saw this. They're like, there's no way we're going to be successful behind this gentleman right here. And that's, I mean, at the time I was like, dude, why wouldn't you just go? Like, what's going on? And usually I would have done that. But for some reason I was like, just let him go. Let him go. I mean, you're like, if a guy doesn't want to be there, don't let him be there. But there was thought behind it. I think he got a lot of flack for doing what he did, coming out of Ole Miss. But either his daddy knew, Papa knows best, you know. Someone was like, no, don't go there. Maybe it was the weather. Maybe San Diego's amazing. I want to move to San Diego eventually. Um, take this show, Sports Plus Life on the road to San Diego. Maybe it was the people there. Maybe it was the organization and just strike them right. Who knows? But you look at that move for anyone's career. I mean, you take a look at, like, for example, Drew Brees going to the New Orleans Saints. You take a look at even, God, I'm trying to think of how to compare this. Yeah, I don't even know how to compare this. It's the opposite of what's his name? The one who was with the Philly or the Washington Nationals and then I don't remember who it was. Anyways, this is one of those like moves like from the get that he made, and 16 years later he has 2 Super Bowls, Pro Bowls, probably MVP. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to look it up. A lot of accolades, a lot of money. I mean, one of the few guys that you don't have to look in the news and be like, oh shit, he's going off the rails. I mean, the dude's had a successful life, and he's smart enough to know when to go, when to quit, when to dump it. I mean, why? I think Eli Manning doesn't get the respect he deserves. Because I mean, internet kind of ruins fucking so much shit. Internet will ruin the best things ever. And because you see all these pictures of, I think Barstool put it up, of, Eli Manning with the weird face, the stupid face. And people are going to depict, oh, that's Eli Manning. What people don't see is the 2-time Super Bowl Eli Manning. The Eli Manning that beat Bill Belichick, Tom Brady in both Super Bowls. The Eli Manning who made a shitload of money, makes more money than anyone posting these stupid memes. The Eli Manning who's just an overall decent guy. People don't see that. People just want to see the internet memes of Eli Manning. Are they funny? Sometimes. I mean, not all of them are funny. I mean, just that one's old as shit. The one where he's like, oh, yeah, oh. And then Eli Manning, they hired a new coach. They hired Freddie Kitchen, and he was like, yep, it's time for me to go. The guy's smart. People don't give him that credit. He's smart enough to step away. I mean, he deserves more respect than what people give him, I believe. A lot of people like to look at his last few years, but who's he won these Super Bowls with? Brandon Jacobs, is he a Hall of Famer? No. David Tyree, is he a Hall of Famer? No. Not on offense. On offense, there was like no he didn't play with a lot of Hall of Famers. Will Jimmy Shockey be one? I don't. From Miami, remember the U? Who was it? David Boss? Is that what he played with too? I can't remember. What's that? There was another dude. I'm gonna find it here, guys. You guys shut your mouth and know your roles, and shut your mouth. Where's it at here? He anyways, I'll look it up. But yeah, he didn't really play with a whole lot of Hall of Fame as far as offense goes. So I mean, give respect where respect is due. Dude, this guy, 2-time Super Bowl champ, respect him. I'm going to say it again, respect Eli Manning. I was going to say Peyton. Respect both of them. Both of them. Respect the Manning name. Because he did a lot for a lot of people. I mean, people are going to be like, oh, well, he's not doing good without OBJ. I was like, yeah, he's never really done that well with the OBJ. They haven't really won a whole lot of things with the OBJ. I don't even know if OBJ will be one of those Hall of Fame receivers. He's made a couple good catches, but has he even done anything Hall of Fame worthy like a Julio Jones? I think I think even Landry will be a Hall of Famer before him. And it's so you got to take those things in consideration. I mean, Jesus, dude, and show some respect to Eli Manning, as my homie Pat would say, respect Eli Manning. I mean, the guy plays it off, but I can see after seeing him today in the retirement conference or the press conference, retirement press conference, what people are talking about, how people are talking about that. Like, he's just like, dude, no emotion. I think it was one of the owners, I can't remember who it was, maybe a GM, has said, Eli's first start or first game as a Giant, he was walking down a hallway with his dad, who may have been the owner at the time, and was just talking about how we found our guy right before he passed away. And like Eli just stood there stone cold. So there's something in him that a lot of people don't have, to not show any emotion, which is pretty funny. But I mean, just show respect. Throw that respect out there. Stop. Don't be coming at him like that. I mean, yeah, dude, he's played with Brandon Jacobs, Ahmad Bradshaw. Remember that guy? I'm taking a look at the 2008 Super Bowl or 2008 Super Bowl champ New York Giants. Mario Manningham. That's who I was thinking about. I knew it was like a Manning, but it's Manningham. Derek Hagan, Sonoris Moss, and Steve Smith. And Amani Toomer. I'll give Steve Smith, that guy. That's the dude who you're like, okay, I gave you that one. But it wasn't on offense where they won a lot of those games. I mean, yeah, Kevin Boss. It was on defense where they when they won a lot of them. Justin Tuck, Strahan. I think they had Barber. What's his name? Oh, I can't remember the names. They have, what's the name? Mari Bomb. It doesn't matter. Damn, Blackskull Burris was on that. It's just like, show some respect. I mean, I'm gonna keep saying this. Respect Eli Manning, players. Come on. I mean, look at that. David Tyree. Like, hey, you don't know. David Tyree caught the football in the Super Bowl off his helmet like this. It was like this. And then that was like the defining play that led him to win the Super Bowl. That was 2008. That was 2008. I called that upset, by the way. I knew it was going to happen. There was just something about that game. You get these feelings, just like I got the feeling of Holly Holm beating Ronda Rousey. I got the feeling of Ruiz beating Anthony Joshua. There's a feeling you get when an underdog goes in and they just have ice in their veins. You can feel it. If you watch sports like me and you fucking inject fucking sports like I do, like, you get a feeling you have these. There's difference between what I do and like bettors. Bettors concentrate on something different about the game. I'm the one who's like, who just feel it. I feel it. Anyways, I called that, by the way, and I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, anyways, David Tyree, you didn't hear anything about him after that game. And that play, and I'll try to find it and tag it, or try to find it and put it in the description for you. But that play was all Eli Manning. Defensive line didn't help. Eli Manning somehow got out of that. Like, I don't know, like, I want to say something, I'm not going to say it. But he got out of that, like David Blaine, like, and they just chucked the ball, saw it, and they caught it. David Tyree had a good part in it, obviously. That catch was amazing. But just look at the people that were around him. Like, he didn't have a whole lot of, you know what I'm saying. You guys know it. Respect. Okay, just respect. So happy retirement to Eli Manning. He doesn't know what he was going to do. He just knew he had to retire, He just knew that it was time for him to be like, I'm out. I am dipping. Like, there's no more. I don't need any of this. Definitely first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah. More. You're gonna see a whole lot more of these type of retirements coming up soon. I mean, the fucking guy retired before Tom Brady. Before Tom Brady, I mean, I don't think there's anyone left from in and around that area that time that, except for Phillip Rivers. Yeah, I don't know. So just kind of run down the awards that Eli Manning has won that your favorite quarterback probably has never won. Two-time Super Bowl MVP, obviously. 4 Pro Bowls. Walter Payton Man of the Year Award, which is probably the most important one on here. Shows the good people. And Bart Starr Award, Maxwell Award, SEC Offensive Player of the Year. So a lot of college. So a great, solid, which I believe will bring him to a first ballot Hall of Fame career. Yeah, I think we're going to start seeing more of these. I don't know, like Drew Brees. Drew Brees is on that cusp, you know? There's rumblings that he is getting, pretty big offers to be like a sports analyst, football analyst. I think for ESPN, maybe CBS, I believe is what it is. But one of those. And rightfully so, dude. I would love to see that. I would love to see him. I don't know if he'd be as good as Tony Romo on broadcast, but that's what I'd like to see. I like what Tony Romo does. I like the breakdown before a play even happens. I like that vision. And it's great to learn from great to learn. If you want to learn the game, you listen to Tony Romo. Who wouldn't want to learn? Even if you're unathletic as I am, why wouldn't you want to learn from Drew Brees? Why wouldn't you want to learn from these guys? Like, you watch football, like, why not learn these type of things? I don't know if Eli Manning would do that, but yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Eli Manning I want Eli Manning and his brother to have a show. Peyton Places on ESPN Plus. You just get Eli Manning in there. Oh, there's gold right there, guys. There you go. You're welcome, ESPN Plus. Holler at me. Put my podcast on there. Make me some money now. You are welcome, ESPN. Welcome. Congratulations, Eli Manning and Peyton Manning on their retirements from football. But anyways, moving on. My favorite part of the weekend is going to be UFC Fight Night. Curtis Blades versus Junior Dos Santos. And Junior Dos Santos is one of my favorite fighters. I remember, I'll never forget when Junior Dos Santos, if you guys haven't looked it up, Junior Dos Santos came on and fought a veteran in Fabricio Verdum. And people don't talk about this knockout very much. I remember sitting there watching, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but he looks scary. He had hair too back then. He doesn't have hair now. But he looks very scary. And to break my desk. I was sat there and I was like, dude, he's throwing like these bombs. And Verdum, black belt jiu-jitsu, very decorated. Was kind of trying to throw. I think this time he's still barely getting a hang of his hands, you know. And I'll never forget. I think Verdum threw Dos Santos threw a left hook and just an uppercut. And when the uppercut landed on Verdum, he landed and like he was like Dumbo. His ears started like flapping like this, pop, and I thought he was gonna fly away. Just fucking Verdum, but he got hit. And when you're like, your ears don't move. Like, look, when you get hit that hard and your ears get whiplash. That was vicious. And I was like, dude, this guy's legit. Then he ended up eventually winning the heavyweight championship, beating Cain Velasquez. UFC on Fox 1. UFC on Fox 1. I think the first one ever. I think so. And upset him. I mean, so the guy's been legit. Been kind of Lost the last one. I think won the 3 before that. Beat some tough dudes. He's beaten a lot of tough dudes. Shane Carwin is one of them. It's one of the toughest dudes you'll ever see in Shane Carwin. The hardest hitters you've ever seen in Shane Carwin. He's from where I'm from, Shane Carwin. And just a bunch of different Cain Velasquez, obviously. There's probably no tougher heavyweight than Cain Velasquez. So he's beat some top dudes. But he will be fighting Curtis Blaydes this weekend. So Curtis Blaydes trains at altitude, trains out of Denver. I will be on it. I love being honest with you guys. In my opinion, doesn't really put on the most exciting fights. He's a great wrestler. He doesn't have the caliber of fights that Junior Dos Santos has. So that's something to take into consideration. He did have a knockout win against Shamil Abdurkimov. Probably did a lot of fighting in Russia and has a 20-5 record. Also beat Justin Willis. Tough dude, but same thing with Willis. Only has an 8-2 record. Francis Ngannou beat the shit out of him back in 2018. Alistair Overeem knocked him out. And he won the decision over Mark Hunt. Probably wrestled him. So, that's what you have to go off of. Let's go off his last 5 fights. Been knocked out by Alistair Overeem, who I think Junior Dos Santos knocked out. Knocked out by Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou knocked him out. So, the heavyweight is just, a very odd division. But what's going to happen here in this fight, from what I've seen, Curtis Blaydes is definitely going to try to take him down. But I've seen Junior Dos Santos in the past. His wrestling has gotten way better to where he's gotten good enough to keep it on the feet where he's stronger. He's going to be the better boxer, better kickboxer. That's what you're probably going to see. I got Junior Dos Santos winning this fight. First round knockout. I think Junior Dos Santos, his experience is going to take him a long way. Curtis Blaydes, definitely great grappler, great wrestler. Definitely have a heavy handed. If you see his jaw, dude, I don't even know. Even with the beard, it's I don't know how to explain it. It's like he ate. It's like he chewed a bubble gum, 3 packs of bubble gum. What is it called? Bubblicious. Every day as a kid. Sugar free, of course. Every day as a kid, just to get his jaw that way. Guy has jowls on him. BJ Penn had jowls. You know what I'm talking about. You just watch him. Curtis Blaydes. Tune in tomorrow, ESPN Plus, I believe. And check it out. And we'll see what happens. See if I'm correct for once. My main event picks haven't been that well for a whole long time. Also in the fight, very exciting fight, mind you. Rafael Dos Anjos versus Michael Chiesa. I don't know how this fight's going to go. Michael Chiesa is going to be the bigger fighter. Both these guys fought 155, but Chiesa is huge. Chiesa is 6 foot. And Dos Anjos is 5'7", maybe 5'8". I don't know how tall he is. Maybe I could pull it up so I don't give you guys false information. Tail of the tape. But yeah, he's this is very interesting to see how this fight's gonna go. Michael Chiesa, I think, just lost to Anthony Pettis, I think, was his last match. Or was that the one against Diego Sanchez? Let me look it up, because I'm like, yeah, he beat Diego Sanchez in a decision, by the way. Diego Sanchez has been really beatable lately. Then before that, he did lose to Anthony Pettis. And then he has beaten Carlos Condit. Submission. That was a crazy submission. Submitted him in one hand like a key lock, grabbed him and it turned his fucking arm. That was crazy. Check it out. Find it. I'm not going to post it on the description, but it's easy to find out. Michael Chiesa. Chiesa. But Mike Chiesa is a tough dude. Very, 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 very tough dude. Hard to put away. So that's why when I saw Anthony Pettis lose last week, I was like, damn, dude. I was like, I can't believe he lost. But That's the fight game, players. That is the fight game. But yeah, Rafael dos Anjos hasn't had it easy either. His last fight was against Leon Edwards, which he lost by decision. I remember that fight, and I think Leon Edwards got pieced up after that by Jorge Masvidal. I think that's the one. And then no, that wasn't it. No, that wasn't. That was after the fact. Never mind. I'm thinking of some. This one was in Vegas, I believe. And then Rafael dos Anjos beat Kevin Lee by submission. So Kevin Lee comes out, talks all this shit, blah blah blah, but lost to Rafael dos Anjos. Whatever. We're getting Kevin Lee when it's time. We won't talk about the Motown phenom right now. But dos Anjos had a rough road. I mean, he's lost to Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington. So, and you guys saw that Colby Covington fight against Kamaru Usman. So, and by the way, decisions he lost. So, doesn't get knocked out really. Hasn't been knocked out in a while, but yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a very interesting fight. I want to see Rafael dos Anjos as tough as it comes. Michael Chiesa tough as he comes. Northwestern boy, from out there, Washington, Seattle, that area. Rafael dos Anjos, Brazilian, trains out of L.A., I believe, Los Angeles. I think at Rain. I don't know where exactly he trains. I'm pretty sure it's California. I don't know how this fight's gonna go. I think you might see another decision go Chiesa's way. I go with Chiesa here. I mean, there's something about Chiesa. He's just tougher. He's just a tough dude, hard to put away, and just hard to do anything. He's gonna come in here as a big dude, and who knows? A lot of other fighters on here that you might not know about. Angela Hill always puts on a great fight. Trains out of Dominic Cruz's camp, Kat Zingano's camp, Eric Fierro's camp in San Diego. I forgot what it's called, but she trains out of there. Has been put on some good fights, and tough chick. And has gotten better since we've seen her on the Ultimate Fighter. So pretty cool. She's fighting Hannah Cifers. Hold on, players. I want to take a look at Hannah Cifers' record. Yeah, I don't know. There's no. I gotta look her up. But you gotta look out for Angela Hill. Angela Hill, don't back down from no bitch. On God, she ain't scared of anybody. Alex Perez does fight in this card against Jordan Espinoza. Alex Perez, you can watch him. Main card, preliminary card. Nick Lentz is on there. I don't know what's happening. Like, what's his name? Nick Lentz had smoke with had beef with BJ Penn for a while. And then all of a sudden that day, they were supposed to fight actually. Nick Lentz was supposed to fight BJ Penn. That was a fight that was going to happen. But then BJ Penn video came out of him getting knocked out all drunk in Hawaii. And then Hawaii was like, go get your shit together. You ain't fighting for me anymore. And cut him. So that fight was supposed to happen. But these fights are the best fights. The ones where you don't know a whole lot about who's fighting on the cards because you have no expectations. And then you watch them, and then they're bangers. So check him out. If you have nothing to do, there's not much to do. I mean, there's probably basketball, but and some hockey, But that should be going on, you know what I'm saying, until July, June. So you have plenty of time to watch basketball. Plus, what are you going to miss? I did see, so kind of going off topic, but I was watching, who put it up? It may have been Sports Center, ESPN Plus. I'll put it on my Instagram, Sports Plus Life, and I think I have it downloaded, and Mr. AKA CO and Sports Plus Life on Instagram. I'll put it up. This was when Kobe was playing against Stephen Curry. Caption said, this is when Stephen Curry gained Kobe Bryant's respect. And Kobe Bryant was hacking the fuck out of him. Hacking him all over him. There's probably about, in today's league, there's probably about 4 or 5 fouls in that one little sequence right there. And it just gotten soft since then. I'm just watching that and I'm like, what happened? Kobe Bryant retired, 2016? What happened in 5 years? How fucking soft have we gotten? Anyways, That I'll talk about. And I'm not gonna probably make a YouTube video out of that because I have for Kobe Bryant, and a couple other topics that I missed on the decade review on the Sports Plus Life episode number 14, I believe. Don't quote me. 15 maybe. But it's a decade in review, and I got there's some things I need to correct. All from 2016. I can't believe I fucked it up, and I'm gonna probably do it this weekend. Probably have a couple videos out this weekend, so keep an eye out on youtube.com/sportspluslife. Fight night tomorrow night. Check it out. ESPN Plus. Junior Dos Santos versus Curtis Blades. Check it out. I'm gonna check it out. I don't care. But another big move, a big move that happened, and not hella surprised when I saw it happened. It was a good move for pretty much everyone involved. Great move for LA Galaxy. They picked up Javier Chicharito Hernandez from Sevilla in Spain, which is like his second stint in Spain, I believe. It's a great move for LA to fill that for Galaxy. I'm going to call them Galaxy because there's already an LA there, LAFC. But it's a great move for Galaxy because they need to fill a void that Zlatan Ibrahimovic left when he ran his course, ran his contract. I didn't say ran his course. It's not like he died. Like he's still a very, very, very good player at 38 years old. Which in soccer terms, people are like at 38. Oh shit, LeBron's gonna play till he's 50. Look at time. These guys start playing professionally around 16, 17 years old. So that's a long time. But it's a great move for Galaxy because, for one, you pick up an international name. Not only an international name, but a Mexican name. Because when you think about Los Angeles, you think of, well, what's Los Angeles known for other than Hollywood? It's Mexicans. You know? There's so many Mexicans in Los Angeles and the California area in general, SoCal in general, that you start filling those seats. You're going to start filling that stadium with Mexican fans. I mean, it's a given. Because that's they're following the same model that LAFC across the way is doing with Carlos Vela. Carlos Vela is playing out of his mind here. He's just playing ridiculous. And he's playing well. I mean, I think there's a lot of times when he was playing over, I'm talking about Carlos Vela now, playing at Arsenal, or will it be, I think it's Coruna. I got to check up his team, but he's played in Spain for a long time. After he got hurt, I think he got like his leg broke. I think I'll find it and post it. But I think he got his leg snapped. It was bad. Anyways, but he's at home. This is LA. It's like baby Mexico. Taco stands everywhere. Food trucks because of taco stands. You know, there's Mexican food everywhere. There's Mexican this. There's Mexican stores. There's Mexican candy. There's Mexican people, Mexican hookers. All this stuff in LA. So many Mexican. I think Mexican might be the majority race, probably in that area. It is a great move, and that's a big reason why. You're also getting a finisher. We're talking soccer now. We're not talking about the outside of the game. You're getting a good finisher, and I would know because he played for Manchester United for 5-6 years. I just sat there and watched him play. I mean, dude, the good guy can finish. He was what we call a poacher, and had over 100 goals at Manchester United before being sold to. So this is how it works out, if I remember right. I got to look it up, but went to Chivas. By the way, Chivas, one of the biggest Mexican teams in Mexico. Guadalajara Chivas have the rivalry with America, Águilas de América in Mexico. That's like the big rivalry there. But the Chivas are probably the biggest name. I would say out of the two. That's just me, but they're kind of head to head. But Chivas would probably be the bigger name, especially in the United States, because the United States, if those of you who don't know, in the United States, in MLS, they actually had a Chivas FC team that failed, defunct. So I don't know what happened there, but they had a Chivas. They didn't have America. They had a Chivas FC MLS team. So that kind of goes to show how big the team actually is down here, North America in general. 2016, 2010, spent at Chivas. In 2010, 2015, spent at Manchester United. And then was on loan from 2014 to 15. So that last year, he was part of Manchester United, but he was loaned out to Real Madrid. Not a bad team to be loaned out to. Cristiano Ronaldo, Jose Mourinho. So didn't lack the talent. Just real quick about that time. I mean, that was like a weird point for Manchester United because you had David Moyes coming in after one of the greatest coaches ever, greatest managers ever, Sir Alex Ferguson. So that was like a weird period right there. And I just didn't think David Moyes knew how to use Chicharito. I didn't think David Moyes knew what he had in his hands. I don't think he did very much studying of who he had. So I think so him going to Real Madrid, still getting great playing time, still getting that great experience, but then also being sold to Bayern Leverkusen, a top team in Germany, after the fact, 2015 to 17. Spent 3 seasons there, 2 or 3 seasons there, and played well. Had 54 goals, which isn't bad. Well, I think in the pecking order, and this is just me, and I'm not saying the best, but I'm saying the most exciting, I'm saying the most competitive leagues out there. Premier League, Bundesliga. Because we're talking about competitiveness, not best ones, not most exciting. I'm talking about competitive. In Premier League and Bundesliga. Because Bundesliga, you could have a rotation of 7 different teams that can be up and down outside of just Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. And then you always throw in Bayern Leverkusen, used to be one of those top teams. Now you got Red Bulls, I think is who they are. So I mean, that shows you how good that league is. So it's a great league, a lot of good players, great coaches. That's where Jurgen Klopp came from. I mean, so many. I think it's toughest. Hold on, man. I'm getting like toughest leagues out there. So then from there, we came back to English Premier League, played for West Ham for a little bit, just as recently as last year, and then made the move to Sevilla for a short time, and now sold to LA Galaxy. So that's the kind of road that's where he was in. But he played top flight football, soccer. I'm gonna call it football for right now. Top flight football for a long time. Now he's in LA. So what LA gets is a 31-year-old. Like I said, I mean, I was telling you guys earlier, he started when he was 16, 17 years old. He's 31 now. 14, 15 years as a professional. 14 years as a professional. And he's 31. To where a lot of people would be like, oh, he's in his prime. Sure. And now he's playing his prime at LA Galaxy. I guess the most historic team in MLS. I mean, you had people like, of course, Landon Donovan, who probably the most famous LA Galaxy. You had David Beckham. David Beckham was that big signing from overseas. I think probably PSG is where he came from. From PSG, and was one of those big major international signings. He came to LA Galaxy. And now you're seeing a whole lot more. You're seeing people like the likes of Nani, who was just here at Orlando, Carlos Vela. You saw Sebastian Schweinsteiger, who just played at Chicago Fire. Cuauhtemoc Blanco, one of the other Mexican players who played at Chicago Fire. So I mean, it's been a long time coming. I'm glad he made this move. The big reasons are he'll be very successful here. because from an international standpoint, from him, because one of the big things that a lot of people don't realize is that playing international soccer, international football for your team, unlike it means a lot. Unlike these basketball players over here, it means a lot to play soccer for your nation, for your country. And why is it a big deal? Well, I mean, you're the best of that country to be chosen. Chicharito's been there in a high level for a long time. Gold Cups, World Cups, CONCACAF. There's like so much different tournaments they've won. And of course, the rivalry with the United States. But the reason why I brought that up is that a lot of the Mexican national players, some of them are playing overseas, but a lot of them are still very local, very domestic is what we call domestic club, play with domestic clubs. So a lot of them still play for Cruz Azul, Guadalajara, America, Cholos. There's still a lot of talent in your country. And so moving over here now, the talent has raised because what's going on is that now U.S. MLS teams are playing Mexican teams and playing Southern American teams, like CONCACAF teams. CONCACAF we'll get to another time. And so they're playing all these teams now at a very high level. So they have the Champions League now here in North America, which I don't think USA has won. I think anyone who's ever won the Champions League since its inception was Mexico. Mexico. MX, I think is what the league is called. MX. Hold on. Everyone chill. There it is. CONCACAF Champions League. Let me go here because I need to look this up now that I'm over here trying to talk about it. Wikipedia. Sorry, yeah, I'm not perfect. Shut your mouth. But yeah, anyways, everyone's just playing at a high level, and it's because of this 2008 Atlanta, yeah, all Mexican. It's been all Mexican teams that have won and have been involved in all of these. So I believe that's what I'm looking at. But it just goes to show you, they've also, the Mexico international team has always played at a high level, has always been successful. They've gone to the knockout rounds of the World Cups plenty of times. They've beaten some tough teams. Remember, don't forget, no era penal against Netherlands, which should have been a penal, or should have never been a penal. Anyways, we're not going to get into that because that's going to spark something huge. And my future old lady is probably watching this. She's Mexican, speaking Spanish. She's like, look at that. Mira ese pinche gringo, no sabe nada de fútbol. Anyways, so yeah, it's just a great move. I went on a tangent there for a little bit, but it's a great move for Chicharito for many reasons, business reasons. California is not a bad place to raise a family. You're not too far from Mexico. You're not too far from home. You're not too far from family. You're just a few hour flight away from there. And you can make a whole lot of money in the United States, especially in California, being sponsored by Nike, whoever you're sponsored with. There's so much. It's a smart move just overall for Chicharito. Who's made a good name of himself, because the reason why they call him Chicharito means little P, because El Chicharo, his dad, was a famous Guadalajara player, Mexico player. So he's done a good job. Unlike a lot of these guys that try to make names out, after their dads, like especially in boxing, you can even go as far as Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Let's not talk about that. But his dad, the most successful Mexican boxer ever. You can even talk about Hector Camacho Jr. in boxing, blah, 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 trash. So I don't even know if I don't know too many other Mexican players that have been successful after their fathers. So Chicharito has done that. And props to Chicharito. I'm very excited because I've seen him play once. I saw him play for Manchester United here in Denver against AS Roma, and pretty cool stuff. He's pretty good. He's really good because he does really well. What a poacher scorer does is a striker, a forward does. Remember 4-4-2. He's up here 4-4-2. He's this guy up here. He's good at towing the offensive line. He's good at playing that game. He could be offsides 5-6 times a game, but that one time he goes through, he's gonna score. It doesn't matter. He has a short mind, but he's quick, and he's a smart football mind, which is pretty good to have. And he's always in the right place at the right time. So that's what a poacher does. Always gets the second ball. So if you guys know the second ball, let's say a corner, a cross is coming through. That first ball is meant for somebody else, but they miss it, then it becomes a second ball. He's good at getting that second ball. Or retrieving the ball that someone headed but didn't head on goal, puts it in. He's really good at that, so that's what you got to look forward to. And we'll definitely talk more about that as the MLS season MLS probably comes, MLS will be here probably 2 months, month or two. Probably March. So everyone's in training camp right now. So we'll see. I'm excited. There's still a whole lot more things to happen too, especially before the season. So you don't know. Who knows who's going to be in an MLS uniform by the beginning of the season. I haven't really been a big MLS star, but then I went to this guy right here. Look, everyone look. See this? Secretary of Defense, Tim Howard. I went to the Rapids game last year, and once again, shout out to my brother. I don't know how he gets these tickets. He gets them. And went to watch, and I was like, dude, this is exciting. Outside of the fact that all these people are getting up and not paying attention to the game, I think now you're going to see more educated people, hopefully, in the seats. So we'll see. But yeah, a couple tidbits moving on from Chicharito, because I'm a big Chicharito fan. Manchester United fan. Love it. Love the move. Cool dude. But yeah, has some good takes in Spanish, by the way. Has some good takes in Spanish. So last night I watched the Pro Bowl skills games. So they did skills, fun games, where the kickers had to kick. I don't know if they did it last year. Wasn't paying this year. But they did. I was watching something before that where the kickers, for example, kickers would play tic-tac-toe. They make a tic-tac-toe out of the field goal posts, the squares. And then you make your, whether blue or red. It's not X's, but it's blue or red. You do tic-tac-toe that way. They did a throwing competition where they had targets that had different points. And they had NFC versus AFC. This is how it worked out. The NFC had Russell Wilson. And then they had someone out, a receiver throwing. I don't remember who the receiver was. And then Kirk Cousins. And they smoked the AFC. AFC had Lamar Jackson, Jarvis Landry. Was it Deshaun Watson? I'm not 100% sure who it was. It got smoked. But it was fun. And then they also had another one where they had to it was four per team. Quarterback and receiver paired up. So 2 different pairs. And they had to go around, do these different catches, and go back around, do it again like a tag team. Once they got down, the second team would go the second leg. And then the last one was dodgeball competition, which was pretty fun to watch. Especially when you have someone like Jarvis Landry, who has good hands. I mean, to win the game, it was Jarvis Landry against 2 other dudes that came from the NFC. And this was it was pretty cool because they had points, and this was the defining game to see who would win the whole competition. Don't know what they won. Hopefully they won a little bit of swag. But yeah, he had 2 balls in his hand. Don't be perverted. He had 2 kickballs or whatever, dodgeballs in his hand. And the guys threw it. Somebody threw it at him. Oh no, yeah, he caught one, and then it was 1-on-1. The guy threw it at him, dropped the balls, and caught it. It was pretty fun. It was exciting. I was kind of excited. Pretty funny to see Lamar Jackson get out thrown by Jarvis Landry, but he's known for his legs. It doesn't matter. Last thing is Zion made his debut. Zion Williamson made his debut, which I talked about him earlier in our podcast. Once again, everything comes together full circle. So if you guys aren't subscribed, subscribe right now. Go back, listen to all the older episodes. Most of them, I think up until 14 is the first one on YouTube. All the other ones are going to be everywhere, except for the decade review, which is only on YouTube, available on YouTube because Uncle Edgar messed up. But you could find me on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I don't know about. I haven't checked. I know I was supposed to check, but I didn't check about SoundCloud. But you can find me everywhere. I am everywhere at a touch of a button on your phone. I'll be there. I'll be there. Okay, I'm not singing. Zion Williamson made his debut. And it was I fell asleep at halftime. I'm not gonna lie. He was only playing 4 minutes the first quarter, then a few minutes the second quarter, and I was like, what the? I'm too tired. I just went to sleep. And then he blew up. 22 points, 17 points in the second half, I believe is what it was. Maybe one quarter, I can't remember. But I'm glad. And 4 for 4 from 3-point land. 4 for 4 for that dude that big. 4 for 4. Better than Ben Simmons. That's why it's already been noted. Better shooting percentage from 3 than anyone. Better than the Beard. Better than it. Don't even come at me. The kid's a talent. Rookie of the year after one game. Let's go. Just kidding. That will go to J.A. Morant, who will be the rookie of the year, barring he stays healthy. You never know. But he showed promise, and that's pretty good. I mean, I'm glad he definitely was out of shape, obviously, because the fucking guy they have been limiting him and the way his body is. I mean, the good thing about him, he's 19 years old. So he'll snap out of it. He'll be okay. But like I said months ago, I don't know if we'll ever see him play a full season because of how athletic he is, how big he is. And that body just like puts himself, the way he moves, his cuts. He's 100%. I don't know what they did with him during I don't know, 100%. I meant like full throttle, just full throttle. I don't know. They heard they even trained him, not trained him like he's a puppy, but they had to kind of teach him how to walk differently, everything to get him healthy back in the NBA, back into playing for the Pelicans. So I don't know. I heard they had to make him walk differently, teach him how to walk a different way. Correctly, maybe. I mean, dude's 19 years old, so he's a sponge. He'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm glad. I wish he would have made his comeback against Denver Christmas Day, but it didn't happen. It happened January 22nd, so everyone will remember that. 2020. Oh, 2020. 2020 episode number 20 of the Sports Plus Live. I just put it all together. 2020 episode number 20 of the Sports Plus Live podcast. And we're going to end it there because I have nothing else to talk about. So just to recap real quick, congratulations, Eli Manning. Junior Dos Santos versus Curtis Blades. And then also Chicharito to LA. Big stuff coming. I'm going to put out 2 videos this weekend. I have time. There's no a whole lot of sports this weekend. Pro Bowl, I'm not going to watch that. No one's going to watch the Pro Bowl. Why would anyone watch the Pro Bowl? There's nothing at stake. It's very boring. I'm going to put out 2 videos this weekend. YouTube.com/SportsPlusLife. Follow me on Instagram, Sports Plus Life. Follow me on Instagram, MRAKACO. Twitter, MRAKACO, and Sports Plus Life on Twitter. And then, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to everything. Hit the ring. Hit any bells you see to get notifications when I drop stuff, because I drop stuff whenever I want. I actually wanted to record this yesterday so you guys could have it this morning, but it didn't happen that way. So tune in. Keep your ear out. Keep your eye out. Like, share. Remember, tell all your chismosas. Tell any chismosas in general. Chismosas, look it up if you don't know what it means. Just chatty Cathy's. Chismosas, tell them all. And if you want, is there certain chismosas that need to get a hold of me because they're hot chismosas? Tell them to holler at me. MRAKACO, Twitter and Instagram. I'm out here. I'll see you guys later. 2020 episode number 20, Sports Plus Life. Late.